So Joe Biden has announced some of his first cabinet picks and most important cabinet picks, but it shows one thing above all. He hasn't learned about the mistakes of the Obama-Biden years the first time, back to 2016, and he hasn't learned what caused Trump to rise in the first place. His picks, above all, if there's one defining feature, it's that pretty much everybody on this top flight list of existing picks thus far was connected to the Barack Obama, Joe Biden administration. They were either cabinet, secretaries, or they were deputy secretaries, or they were personal advisors to Biden or to Obama or to both. Most of them are already seasoned Democratic neoliberal corporate operatives. And that's an issue. Look, no one was expecting none of these people to be in cabinet, but it seems like they're taking up all of the slots at least listed thus far, indicating that it's just a desire to go back to 2015, 2016, when really what's needed is to move beyond the pre-Trump years, unless you want to go back to Trump or someone worse than him in 2024. And so his picks include, for Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. His national security advisor is Jake Sullivan. Director of National Intelligence is Avril Haines. Department of Homeland Security head is Alejandro Mayorkas. UN Secretary or UN Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield. And he has John Kerry, former vice presidential candidate John Kerry, who is the special climate envoy. And that is also being linked to a national security profile. Now, there are some things here that I understand. I understand why Biden wants some experienced people. Trump has obviously stalled his transition. Trump has obviously caused a lot of headaches nationally and domestically. And so it makes sense that you want an experienced team of people that can start working on day one, even with all the disadvantages that come with that. Because unlike Trump, who got a lot of help from Obama and Biden to get ready, Trump and the Republicans will not return the favor to Joe Biden. So I get having an experienced team. I get that. There is also some important elements of diversity here. Some people think that diversity is irrelevant. I do think it matters. It's not diversity over functionality, and it's not diversity over having the right values, but it is important here that, for instance, Mayorkas is one of the first people to hold such a high position in U.S. government around homeland security and these sorts of things, who is an immigrant, who comes from a Latino background. And these things do matter. They do matter. It matters that the UN ambassador will be a woman of color. And so it also matters that John Kerry is given a climate position, and that climate position is being recognized as an issue of national security. And that's the first time that's ever happened, because rarely has U.S. government really talked about climate change for what it is. It's not just environmentalism. It's not even just about economics, like, energy production versus, green jobs. It's, if we don't do anything, we're going to have droughts, we're going to have floods, we're going to have fires, we're going to have starvation, we're going to have all of these issues nationally and internationally that will make it harder to keep peace. And so any national security vision has to include climate, at least now. And so those are some positive things. But again, it really is the Obama team redux. It's the Obama, Clinton, Biden era redux. And that's not what's needed. You need fresh blood. You need new people. Maybe not every position, but you need new folks from the various wings of the party that are going to represent a new vision. Obama is not president anymore, and Joe Biden is not vice president again. He is president. And it really makes it seem like he's not charting his own vision for the country by picking all of these people that got thrown out with the rest of the traditional corporate neoliberal Democrats by Donald Trump. And if you want to make one argument to the world that you've learned nothing, that nothing is going to change, that you've learned no lessons from the loss you took in 2016, you've learned nothing from what caused Donald Trump, then these are the exact picks you make. People that, yes, on paper are very competent. Yes, a lot of them are perfectly qualified for the jobs they have. This is not like Trump throwing his kids into positions of importance. I get that. There is a difference. But it shows a lack of courage and a lack of imagination. Where are people from the Bernie or even the Warren wing among these folks? I don't see them. And that's a real concern. Now, to be clear to Biden, this isn't his whole cabinet. Maybe, I'm very skeptical, but maybe his domestic side, most of these positions are international looking. They relate to the world and to these bigger issues, but maybe his domestic picks will be more progressive. I don't know. But one thing's for sure is that while cabinet isn't everything, it's often the first signal of what a president is going to try and do going forward. And yes, I recognize that the Senate reality likely means, not guaranteed, but it likely means he's going to need Republican support to put people in cabinet. I get that. I get that, it's hard to pull someone from the Senate right now because that takes away a vote you need to pass legislation in the coming weeks and months, especially if that person has a Republican governor who might replace you with a Republican. I get all that, 100%. But Biden needed to show a little bit more ingenuity and courage here, and he failed to do so. And again, guys, I've said this. If this is how he's going to be president, the Democrats will take a shellacking in the midterms in 2022, and someone like Trump, and maybe it will be Trump again, but it could be Tom Cotton, it could be Trump Jr., it could be someone worse. They will be back with a vengeance, 100%. If the Democrats don't learn something and actually fight for the working class and the interests of regular Americans, then they're going to lose, and they're going to lose hard.